Welcome to Magnet Marketers, our weekly live show where we break down the head, heart, and hand approach to building sustainable growth in your business. During each episode, we share actual client marketing best practice examples, strategies, and tactics that will help you generate real results. Our belief? A magnet always works better than being a bullhorn to attract, retain, and build your brand. Ready to dive into this week's Relationship Marketing Training Tuesday? Well, let's get started. Here's your host, Mike Gingrich and Jessica Phillips. All right. Hello, and welcome to this week's Training Tuesday live from Magnet Marketers. I'm a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. And today I'm excited to dive in all things chat marketing, chatbots. Yes. And we have the perfect chatbot extraordinaire queen to talk just about all those things, Kelly Noble Mirabella, that usually needs no introduction, but we're going to introduce her here in just a moment if you've not met her before. But first, if we've not met before, hello, my name is Jessica Phillips with Now Marketing Group and the Relationship Marketing System. My personal mission is to help you love more, give more, and be more through the art of authentic relating. And my awesome co-host, he's Mike Gingrich. He's president of a web development and software firm at Digital Hill Multimedia, published author 5 times over, triathlete, runner, biker, and leading business blogger at MikeGingrich.com. How's it going, Mike?
Hey, I am doing well. Here in Pennsylvania, we finally have a spring-like day, and so sunshine, some warmth. I mean, does my spirits well, right? And so it's good and very excited about this topic. We've just been seeing some good chatter on social media about this coming up, so really excited about this.
Me too. Super excited about it, and already got some people in the comments excited about it too. So let us know, what do you know about chat marketing, and where are you watching in from in the comments? We want to give you a shout out as Mike introduces our special guest, Kelly Noble Mirabella.
Yes, we've got Kelly with us. Let me just give you a little background again for those who need to hear the background, right? Kelly is an internationally sought after messenger marketing trainer, consultant, and builder. She's a creator of Baby Got Bot and the owner of Stellar Media Marketing. She's worked with many clients in this realm, including ManyChat, Kerwin Ray, Agora Pulse, Now Marketing, all kinds of things like that. So she's been helping customers get their bots to the next level. And she's been involved with social media for over 14 years. There's more we could say, but we got to get into all the goods that she wants to bring. So welcome, Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I am so pumped to be here. Such a warm welcome.
No, you got all the fans in the comments. She's like, hey, what's up? No, but seriously, when Mike said Now Marketing Group, Kelly is the one that taught us all about chatbots as well. You had to elicit the best in order to teach us about how to use chatbots. And often there's a misconception with chatbots, but I want to show you guys exactly how it works as Kelly's talking about it today too, because each week, if you've been on here before and you hear us say, type recap in the comments, if you want to get the recap of the blog, that's Kelly's teaching from us being able to implement, being able to subscribe and get our blog notifications, a recap of the show notes right within the comments. That's all come from Kelly's teaching. So Kelly, I know chatbots aren't the only thing you do, but today we want to dive in deep to what are chatbots, first of all, for people that maybe have heard the term but aren't sure kind of what its purpose is, and why should brands be paying attention? And let's dive in.
Awesome. So a chatbot is an automated message. Think of it like kind of like for old people like me, voicemail, right? Or like a recorded message. You called and there was a recording. But a lot of people are familiar with chatbots that might think they're not familiar with chatbots. Things like, oh gosh, all the machines are going to go off, but Siri and Alexa and all these things, they'll go off and you can ask them questions, and they are built through automations, through artificial intelligence, through human programming to answer your questions. And so that's really what a chatbot is. I specialize in messenger bots, which are based on the Facebook Messenger, but I have also built conditional logic bots with video and also chatbots on websites. But it's basically the idea is that the client can ask questions, the bot can pick it up, and then facilitate a transition, hopefully sooner than later, into a human contact.
I love that you said that into a human contact and make this a transition, because there were a few stats I pulled, especially for today, but just as I was researching before we kind of went all in on Now Marketing Group on chatbots. And this is what the future is. And it's not anything really to be scared of if you're a business, really, because I first was, unsure of it. But here's just a couple stats to hopefully perk your interest if you haven't been yet on where chatbots are today and where they're going. But 80% of businesses are projected to integrate some form of chatbot system by 2021. So this year, chatbots can help businesses save as much as 30% of customer service support costs. That's a second stat. And the third one that really blew my mind is more than 50% of customers anticipate their business to be open 24/7 because of how we're conditioned. So if you think about businesses and we need something, like me, I just had an issue with my phone yesterday, where my phone was not working. I need that to run my life and communicate with my children and all the things. So what I do, I went on to Verizon, try to reach them. And I was greeted by a chatbot. What do you need? It pointed me in the right direction. And then transitioned me to a live human, like you said at the end of your statement there, on it's helping facilitate, though, to get some of that service level stuff done in order to do a smooth pass off to where the company ends up a winner and the client
is a win-win.
Satisfied. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's definitely a win-win. Being that I'm kind of like a chatbot expert, I actually am. I don't know why I do that, but I get a lot of people who say, well, I would never use a chatbot. I would never use, because you hear the word bot and it has this really negative connotation, that's water, connotation. But the truth is that if you build them correctly to create those win-win solutions and you try to facilitate the transition to a human, if that is where the flow should go, then it's going to be a win. It's an excellent tool. And there is not a business, a consultant, an industry that cannot benefit from this technology. And the truth is that there are now currently more mobile messaging users than there are social media active users. So the audience is already surpassed the social media platform. So if you're just playing catch up and you're like, oh, I'm going to invest in social media this year, I'm like, sweetheart, you are behind. You need to be in social media. Yes. But you also need to really be thinking about messenger marketing, because that's where people already are. So I get real passionate about it, obviously.
No, I love it. And Megan just hit on this. And Kelly, I think you answered the question. We're definitely going to dive into some do's and don'ts. But she said, I'm encountering so many bad bots. They aren't answering the questions I'm asking. And I can't get a person. It's so frustrating. And I think you touch on this in many of your trainings on you're teaching the bot as a business. So, I mean, I know Facebook even has some things built in to where it's like frequently asked questions where he just has to link up with the right answer. Because like we have a client that's running for mayor this year. And so he wanted some things like, how can I sign up to volunteer? How can I sign up to donate? How can I, those key things that most people are asking. And it was just like literally plugging in the question and then putting the answer there, in order to answer it. But I'm sure it would be frustrating if somebody didn't program that correctly. So I'd like to just ask the first question on what are some examples on how people and how brands, like small brands, right, that may have not as many resources, I would say, to have somebody trained in executing this, but where would they start? What are some examples of brands using chatbots today?
Sure. So first, to address the elephant in the room, yes, hashtag no bad bots. A chatbot is only as bad as the people who build them. You build a bad bot, it's because it's your fault, not the bot's fault. You being the business. So the two things I could say right off the bat for both small businesses and large businesses is, number one, create simpler chatbots. I think that people think that a chatbot can replace everything, and they try to build in all these bells and whistles. And honestly, data and statistics after data and statistics keep showing us that simple bots win. They're the ones that convert. They're the ones who build the email list. They're the ones that get us where we want to go and hit those goals. So keep it simple. definitely practice the KISS method. And then number 2 is to try as much as possible to get people to a human whenever possible and as quickly as possible. And that's not to say that you're immediately going to go like, oh, hey, you're in a bot, let me get a human for you. But what you're doing is that, like you mentioned, Jessica, you'll go to Verizon, you're going to, can I get you to where you need to go? Maybe you don't need a human. And that's where the benefit is for the business. Because a lot of times, anyone who's ever worked customer service, you don't need me. You don't need the human. Here's the article, right? Here's the video. We have the resources. So the bot can help with that. But if the client is saying something that doesn't match up, then we need to be able to quickly facilitate that. So it's so easy to build in a contact human situation where you can notify people. And obviously, depending on the needs of the business and the end user, there's different ways to do this. But absolutely always be thinking about how we can add in the human touch, never trying to always take it out. We're not replacing humans. We are complementing the process. So that's just kind of a quick notes on that. Mm-hmm. As far as how our business is using it, there are just a plethora of ways that businesses are using it. But some of the best ways that I've been seeing, I have a very good friend, Trilce Giron, who is like the queen of chatbots in the Spanish space. And she has a really great system where she'll run an ad on what we call a JSON ad. It's a regular Facebook ad, but if you click on it, it goes into Messenger. It has an opt-in message, and then it basically picks up as if it's like a human going, hey, it's going to immediately assign a salesperson to come in as soon as possible and take over. But the bot is going to pick up and say, hey, I'm here to help. Let me know what your questions are. Or it facilitates the conversation, maybe grabs their email really quick. And then there is a training that they went through on the sales team. You want to train your staff to understand how to use these tools, that the salesperson will swoop in within an hour or less. I think she's down to 30 minutes. Like, they are on it. And their sales have tripled. And I think it was a mattress company she did a case study on, because it facilitated the ad to a human so seamlessly, and the bot was able to pick up a couple things. But also there are certain questions with some companies that maybe a human doesn't want to tell another human. So for instance, in her example, they sold mattresses. Well, when you're selling the perfect mattress, you have to ask someone how big they are to get the right mattress. Well, some people find that very offensive. Like, I don't want to tell you my weight. I'm very light. And so the bot can pop in and say, hey, it's me. And she actually, and I think that all brands should consider this, she has a really friendly bot that they're 2 dogs actually. Mm-hmm. And so she has these cute little dogs, and they have little names. They're like, hey, we're back. We're popping in. We just have to ask you a couple questions. Don't worry. It's just between us. We're going to get you the perfect mattress. And so they'll ask those questions that the salesperson and the human contact might find awkward. And it takes that awkwardness out, but we're still able to give that information. So it's almost like this tag team going on. So that works really, really well. There's another example of hotels using them for bookings. And you can come in and even have the messenger bot be like this sassy assistant. And she's going, oh, you're going on a little trip. Is it a romantic trip? Are you bringing your husband? Are you bringing your wife? Are you spouse? Is this special? And if it's like, it's picking up these special occasions, so then we can pop in and say, oh, we, like they show up and we know. We're going to make that experience extra special. So, the bot told us, sassy Sally over here told us that this is your anniversary. We went ahead and left a bottle of champagne in your room. So there's just certain things that you can do where the bot can pull information in a really fun way. I would say definitely
walking you through the sales process too, right?
And it walks through the sales process. So those are some really fun, personality rich concepts. But even in more simplified ways that we use messenger bots, for instance, here you are, you're live, and you have these show notes. This is something I taught you. This is something I use on almost all my live shows. I'll say, if you want the giveaway, the lead magnet, the show notes, I always do show notes because everyone likes show notes, right? And so we'll have a comment growth tool, and that comment will trigger the messenger bot. The messenger bot takes the stress away from me as the broadcaster. I don't have to worry about it. It's like an assistant. And in that same respect, if you're in sales, online sales, so like if you sell makeup, for instance, and you're on a live and you're doing a demo on this perfect lipstick, I'm like, oh, check out my perfect lipstick, and this is how you apply it. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm wild about it. Where do I buy it? And then you're all, oh, I'll get back to you. Just comment that you want it. I'll get back to you after the show. Well, after the show, people don't want it anymore. They've lived on their life. The kids are yelling, it's dinner time. I don't care about the lipstick anymore. But while I'm on the show and I want that lipstick, if you were to say, just comment lipstick below, or, comment this special phrase below, my assistant is going to pop over and give you the link exactly where you can buy it right now. And so it creates an ability for us to sell right then and there. And it's while people are hot, while people want to do it. I have so many examples. I should probably pause there for a little bit for questions, but there's just so many ways that you could facilitate this, from a sales perspective to lead gen perspective to email building to onboarding to admin tasks. Like, it really depends. What's a problem? There's probably a bot solution for it.
Okay, that's good. Hey, Jessica, let's go back to Megan. She's got a good question there that maybe we can address with Kelly here. She says, is Facebook now automatically including bots on business pages?
Yes and no.
I
was like, so Facebook does have really simple like FAQs that they automatically will, they are putting them on pages. So that you guys probably already have them, but I wouldn't call those like full suite messenger bot, but they can confuse things. So you do need to familiarize yourself with them. Usually it's stuff like here's a couple of frequently asked questions, and you have full control. You don't need a third party.
Yeah.
You can actually go and turn them off. And you can also go in and change them. So if you like them, but you're like, oh, those aren't really the questions people are asking, or this is what I want people to have, then you can go in and change them. It's completely up to you.
I was going to say, I love that as like an entry in to getting brands familiar, is just because, and we have this conversation too, Kelly. I was like, I'm not thinking of a chatbot first with a sales mentality. I'm thinking of it first as a utility. Like, how can we make a process easier for someone? Just like you talked about with customer service, like, what are your most frequently asked questions today that would be nice that customers would want, even if it's just like, what's your phone number? How can I get in touch with you? Whatever. And like in the case with like the mayor example, it's like, how can I volunteer? How can I donate? Those kinds of things, or even as like, what do you do, right? And like, because Facebook Business Manager, like that section of it, if you go to the advanced messaging, you can put a video in there response, which is awesome. You can set up triggers to reply back to people. And as Kelly mentioned, like, you can always get to a human too. ManyChat just takes it like, well, I know there's other tools, but the only one I know, ManyChat takes it to like the next level of being able to do more advanced things, like what you did with like even event space with like Social Media Week Lima and others I've been, where it's like speaker forms, or here's what's on deck today. And we were able to put some fun audio to it and say, welcome to, day one of Social Media Week Lima. Here's what's on deck. Here's the agenda, here's where lunch is, and like guide people through the process. And it was like you personally staying in contact with them and giving people access, right? And information. But it's like, for me, it's like I said, it's a utility, especially with a lot of the brands that we work with. We didn't start out with the sales method, like mentality first, because I felt like the service side is where brands can really shine with this and where they should shine, because this is what we're accustomed to now with the world of Instacart and, DoorDash and Amazon, all those things. Like, we want instant gratification, and you can still do it even if you're a small business.
Yeah. And if I may, I want to give you a couple of examples that are specific to saving businesses during the pandemic. So there's a company called Tap the Table. And this is a company, chatbot building platform. A good friend of mine built this platform, but you could do it with ManyChat as well. And his solution was, here we are in a pandemic. People don't want to touch a menu, right? And that's going to be for a while, I think, in a lot of places. We don't necessarily want those dirty menus. So he created something called Tap the Table. Literally, he uses a technology called near field communication, NFC. every new phone has it. You literally tap this technology, it will open the bot up. It'll basically open the menu up, and people are able to order from their phone, and it all
I just did that in Boston this weekend.
Yeah, right there. And a QR code if they don't want to do the tap. The other thing that facilitates is that a lot of places, I don't know about everywhere you're at, but in California, if people are eating in the restaurant is required to get that person's email address or contact information in case there's like a breakout. We have to let everyone know, do contact tracing, and the bot can do that. So you can come in again, we're going to scan it, and then we're going to give them, and basically when you're using a messenger bot, it auto populates an email that Facebook has on file. So all they have to do is click. So that's one example. And sales have been going up in those locations that have used his stuff. He's got a really great case study that he's coming out with on how he partnered with Wiz Khalifa, who created a ghost kitchen, which is very hot right now. Ghost kitchens through ordering food. Instead of having an actual restaurant, they have a ghost kitchen. And he did something like that with a messenger bot, and it was insane. We'll be publishing that for him shortly. So it was really cool. Another one is I have a client, one of my mentees, built a chatbot. He owns a BJJ, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym in Canada. And in Canada, you can have your gyms open, but you have to have your clients, before they enter the building or the workout area, they have to fill out a questionnaire. Do you have symptoms? How are you feeling today? And have you gone out of the country? And all these things. We need your email address. He built a bot. The people, again, they scan it with the QR code. They answer a couple questions, and then they're allowed to come in. If they have any symptoms, it notifies him or one of his staff members, and they can come and say, hey, we need to have a couple more questions, or maybe come back when the symptoms go away. Don't come in here. But that is a legal requirement for his building, and they're able to do that with a messenger bot. So these are just some of the ways that messenger bots help in a world like a pandemic or post-pandemic worlds. And those are some more examples to get those juices flowing.
And it was so much nicer to use the bot, because I experienced that in Boston, than the places that we went to that had the pen and paper. So I feel like I'm doing the this thing at this point, using the same pen and notebook with everyone else. But it was so nice to be able to do the questionnaire ahead of time, go to the restaurant, order our food from the table, everything was right there. We didn't have to touch anything. And, all of us felt very safe the whole time. And I think that's the other thing. It's how can you add to the experience that you're already trying to provide? What process do you already have in place? If you wrote them out step by step, whether it's something new because of the pandemic, something maybe this trainer, maybe has to go through a discovery to find out if the person's hurting or whatever else before they work with them, or whatever, fill in the blank for you, but think through your process of what you already have to do as a brand. And how could you simplify that process if you had a digital assistant, essentially a chatbot, in order to take some of that weight off you, to make sure, like I just said before you came on here, consistent, because that's what, working with the show and Magnet Marketers and making sure we have those recap notes, quickly, and it doesn't replace a human, because Julia is a big part of that. Which I was giving her
exactly. It just makes
the
it
bot
easier
too, right?
Exactly.
What are those processes? So I would love to know some do's and don'ts too. I mean, you mentioned a lot of the do's, but are there any?
I got some don'ts.
Yeah. Let's have it.
One of the biggest mistakes that I see businesses make is, again, I've kind of briefly mentioned it, but kind of trying to do too much. So initially, especially, we talked about FAQs, right? Simple FAQs, but then you have businesses who go in and are like, we're going to do all our FAQs, and they've got pages of technical FAQs. That's not something that a basic chatbot is going to be able to facilitate for you, and you are setting yourself up to fail. Sometimes that's not the best thing to do. Now, and I think a lot of that too, and I could literally name a brand, but I will not do it because I'd be throwing them under the bus. But this actually happened with a very large brand. They tried to facilitate an entire FAQ in the bot. They weren't sending people off. And a better solution would be what you actually see quite often on websites nowadays. I think I was on decipher.com or Descript is the tool I'm into right now. Descript, and I was trying to ask them about an affiliate. So I went to their little website chatbot and I asked, and then it just took me to the page. So it's almost like a search feature in a sense, but
Knowledge
it's helping
database.
me find what I need. So that's a proper way of doing an FAQ, not trying to facilitate everything in the bot. Now, if it's a couple of simple questions like, where do I donate? How do I find, how do I volunteer? Then those you can facilitate the whole answer in the bot. But if you have if you're a tech company, or if you are a company that has a lot of questions that come up, you're going to have to think ahead. You're definitely going to have to make sure that you facilitate more than just the chatbot. The chatbot does a lot of heavy lifting, but it does not replace everything. And with that,
what you just hit on there, though, really quick, because I think many brands might skip over. So what she's saying is, like, in the chatbot, when she says in the chatbot, like, you literally put the question in the answer. But instead, what you could build in with more advanced tools is what all the questions, right? And just like a search bar on your website would be, if somebody's typing in that question, it's linking up with your website. So it could even be your blog, but it's a knowledge database to, if somebody does have a question, that you don't have to already build it in the bot. So taking that step out of it for you, and making sure it's more, giving more options. And I'm sure all of us have experienced some level of that when being on a bigger site, but literally builds a knowledge database out of your website. And how, great is that for pretty much every brand I could think of to have that in place. So
and I think that's where you're going to see, that's one of the bad bots, right? There's a couple bad bots we can cover, but that's one of them, is when you get in and you need help with something. And then it's either like, oh, I don't understand that. Or it's giving you stuff you don't need. And that's, again, where you need to bring a human in to swoop in and save the day. So if your bot needs to be built, it's not going to know you need to build that. And that also transitions into another thing, which is it is not email. Stop using it as email. Stop talking about it like you're going to replace email. It is not email. Absolutely not, especially if you're using Messenger. Facebook has been very clear from the get-go. No. We don't want Messenger to turn into email. And that's why they have really strict rules. And so a lot of businesses fail or definitely started to fail recently when Facebook started changing all the rules on them, because they didn't have a plan for that. They were like, well, I'm just going to build up this huge subscription list and just send messages whenever I want. And that's not what Facebook sees the vision of this. And for good reason. I mean, there's many of you that are like, Facebook bots, they're annoying. Yeah. And that's what we don't want, right? Because what happens when a platform is filled with spam? We stop using it.
Right.
If we stop using it, Facebook doesn't make any money. The end user doesn't use it, so they're not getting any benefit. And the marketer ends up losing in the end because nobody's there. So it's a lose, lose, lose. So for Facebook, I'm always looking at the positives of things. So when Facebook is like, we're going to make all these rules, I'm like, cool, man. Makes sense. To me, it makes sense. But the people who were really angry were the ones who were taught, unfortunately, that it's the new email. And it's not the new email. It is absolutely a complement to email. I've built many an email list and many a webinar list, and all these things and programs built out because of my Messenger bot assisting, but I would never look at it as a replacement. Good.
Yeah. Angela just comes up with this question. I'm just going to ask you to touch on the 24-hour rule.
Okay. I want to share with all of you that I'm about to get nerdy, and I have an entire YouTube channel. And if you go to the playlist on my YouTube channel, there's a compliance section. So if you're like, whoo, I need more, whole section on, in fact, I just wrote an 18-page guidebook over the past 2 days just on compliance. But here's the basics of the 24-hour rule. The 24-hour rule is triggered when the end user, the contact, initiates some kind of interaction with your messenger. So that means that they could message you directly. They could click a button inside the message. They could respond to something in the message. They could actually comment. So many of you might be commenting here. The bot can actually send messages because that, or the business can send you messages. Even without using the bot, we can send messages if you comment on a page. That's why we have comment growth tools are completely compliant. Now, when you use a comment growth tool, you'll notice when you go through her comment growth tool here, or their comment growth tool, there's an opt-in message. It's the first message. That's kind of part of it too. But basically, you have 24 hours from the last interaction that a business page can send pretty much any message they want. It could be promotional, as long as it's within the terms of service of the Facebook platform. After that 24 hours, no go. You cannot send any message you want. You have to fall into these other tags that are really strict and very specific. Every time someone interacts, it restarts the clock. You're not stacking time. You are restarting the clock. So that's the basics.
Got it. So again, and an opportunity if used right, and also there's kind of protective measures in place so that it doesn't become spammy.
Yes. Yeah. And just a fun fact for all of you who get annoyed with people or pages that send you messages, all you have to do is type the word stop or unsubscribe. Facebook has it built in that you will automatically unsubscribe. It's like a built-in feature. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a nice thing.
So no bad bots, because it's no bad for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And I think we get that, like, even with text messaging now, like we've seen, the growth of people trying to ruin that and auto messaging in LinkedIn, right? Like it's just the worst, right? Like nobody wants any of that. And I think thinking of it like messenger marketing or chatbot, what it is as a utility is a really great way for brands, I think, to pause and really think through, how can I make things easier for people, but also how can I get them opt in so we do start off that 24-hour kind of rule and stay in contact. So I know it's kind of a lot to think about, and as we kind of hopefully leave people with something to get started with, what's the best way for a brand to kind of get started, kind of dive in? Like you said, keep it simple, stupid. You said it nicer. You said the KISS method. So keep it simple. We'll leave out the other S.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, what's the best way for them to get started?
KISS is the shorthand. They actually taught us that in college. Us old people learned it that way. So absolutely. First and foremost, everything I do in all my business practices and all my marketing, I follow the golden rule. So you should absolutely be asking yourself, if I am in the shoes of the receiver of this message, is this what I want? Is this good for me? So golden rule. Okay, marketers. Yes. I believe in professional karma, just like karma everywhere else. So when you're getting started, the very first thing I would say to do is go take my free foundations course. Unfortunately, I didn't share it with you before, but we'll put it in the show notes. There's no opt-in. Mm-hmm. Literally practicing what I preach, golden rule. I don't want bad bots. I dedicate myself to it. I have a completely free course. It's very easy. You could probably get through it in like an hour. But basically, it's going to give you a foundation of how to use ManyChat, but more importantly, the rules. Because the rules are so important. So many people break the rules unknowingly, and they're like, well, Facebook blocked me. I was like, yeah, let me see why. And I can, with like seconds, I'm like, that's why. And I lay that out in there. So understand the foundations before you start, right? You don't want to break the rules unknowingly, and certainly don't break the rules knowingly. After that, then do exactly what Jessica said. Figure out where it is that you are now and where could a bot solution help or improve on that. So if you're using like a landing page right now, for just a simple one page, nothing fancy landing page, and you have like, you're just collecting emails. Can a bot do that better? Especially if you're running Facebook ads to it. Mm-hmm. I would absolutely split test a Facebook ad to a messenger bot to collect emails if that's one of your goals, and deliver like a lead magnet. Then and split test that against like a simple landing page for the same purpose, because that is a perfect example of where a swap generally is going to do better. Another solution where a messenger bot is absolutely helpful is if you have a live show, then, keep it simple at the beginning. I have a whole strategy that's very complex that can really help your distribution. But the very first step is, number one, help your bot can help you with registration. I think of every time I go live, I think of it like an event. I want people to register for that event. And then I use either a one-time notification or an OTN one-time notification, or a live confirmed event reminder, 2 different types of tags you can learn about in my playlist. And I can send that one message right before I go live. Hey, we're live. Come on over. We're going to talk to Kelly today, And then I also have that comment growth tool. Those 2 things alone can help launch your live a little bit further, and it helps increase your engagement, which helps your distribution. Facebook really loves all that engagement and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of solutions, but it really comes down to, what are we doing now? So when I talk to clients that I sign on to build bots, what are we doing now? And then let's build a solution where bots complement or improve on that.
Yeah. No, it's so much nicer not to have to leave the platform and go someplace else. And that's really what the platforms want too, right? But that's the last thing you want. Like you just, and when you think about Messenger, it's like a text message, right? And it's just super easy just to respond back. And they're getting one question at a time. And I know like when I've done the test, like a landing page where there might be 5 questions, might be like, like it's already intimidating. Your mind's already saying like, I want to stay lazy. Like, I don't want to fill all this out. Yeah. But if you're doing one question at a time, it's just seamless. And especially when you're adding personality in there. And I love that you touch on this a lot in your trainings. By the way, I can't believe we've already been talking for 4 minutes and 35 seconds. So definitely if you're wanting to read back to this and all the links to Kelly's amazing trainings to dive in more, definitely type the word recap. If you're watching on Facebook, you can type it on the other channels as well if you're watching it there, and we will make sure to respond back to you to get you that information. And we'll have links to all of Kelly's trainings. But I love that you mentioned early on, like adding that personality in there, because that's something that a landing page doesn't often have too, right? And we're adding photos and like a little, personality that mimics the brand or makes it feel a lot more human, even though it's a bot, right?
Absolutely.
I love those. I love adding that in, and that's been a lot of fun to do for ourselves and for clients as we're helping them kind of build it through your framework that you've taught us on ManyChat, as well as like looking at some of those examples out there. Like ManyChat has thousands of examples to kind of look through. This kind of really helps make the process easy. And all the methodology though, and like you said early on, keep it simple and make sure that there's always a human accessible. So we've used kind of that rule of, a few clicks of getting through things, and then make sure that there's always, an opportunity for a human, because people don't want to go on with that forever.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I've been doing chatbots for over 5 years, and I've seen the largest, most complicated. I've built some of them, these chatbots that are just insanity. And then you split test them against like a short, sweet. I posted one to my Facebook group the other day. Evie Hyman and I are doing the Content Marketing PowerUp in April, and we're promoting it right now. And I used my messenger bot to do paid broadcast, which is a paid message to your subscribers. And it converted like gangbusters. It was like 25% conversion. We had like 190 people sign up through that alone. And people were really curious about this messenger bot. They thought it was really complicated. And it ended up being like, I posted the screenshot in my group, but it was like 4 steps. And that was it. It was like so simple. And that's really all it takes. Because we do have a really nice, beautiful landing page that Evie built for us that is a lot more detailed. So the bot doesn't have to go through all the details. It just needs to give enough that people can make a decision. And then let's facilitate that decision. Yeah. And so we had quite a few people sign up through that. And the bot also makes it, like you said, some people just, I don't want to sit here and fill this out. If you would indulge me a second, I'll give you an analogy. So a while back, I went with my daughters. This was before the pandemic. We used to go out to eat. My kids love this place called Coco's. Are you familiar with Coco's? It's like a Denny's or a Shoney's, like a pie diner kind of place. Food is horrible, pie is good. Yeah. Kids love this place because, happy face pancakes. So I took them there for lunch. And they have this little table topper, and it says, sign up for our email newsletter, get a free slice of pie. Now, she's now 7, at the time she's 6. She knows how to read at this point. She goes, Mama, there is free pie. All you have to do is give them your email. And I look at this and I was like, all right, well, let's see. Now, this is what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to get on my phone, go to a website. They wanted me to type in my email address, get an email. This is already too many steps. And then they would give me a coupon that I would then show, and I would get pie. You know what I ended up doing is I ended up buying the pie.
Yeah.
Right? Now imagine this instead. I see the card and it says, scan this code and give us, and sign up for our newsletter, get pie. I scan the code. Automatic, it's like, welcome. We can't wait to give you this pie. And all we need is you to confirm your email. Facebook auto-populates the email. All I have to do is tap. Great. Thanks for your email. Here's the coupon you can show to your hostess. And that's it. And I can even go as far as like, what's your favorite flavor of pie? We're doing a vote. Whose is the favorite? And then you can show all the solutions. But that's it. And all I had to do is scan, tap, and there's my coupon. You see the difference? Bigger email list, a lot more pie.
Yeah. Frictionless. I love that. Oh my gosh, I could listen to you forever, and I have. I felt like recently when we went through the training and the YouTube videos, because there's so many amazing trainings that you offer for free, as well as a deep dive class, which I can attest to. It was amazing. It definitely helped us get started, because it is a little intimidating when you get started, because there's so many things that you can do. You're not sure what to do and how to get started. So I highly recommend the trainings too. But Kelly, for anyone that is interested and want to learn more and dive into your trainings, what's the best place for them to find you online?
Everywhere at Stellar 24/7, just like it says here, specifically youtube.com/Stellar 24/7. It's called Baby Got Bot. I have a new video every single week, all about chat marketing, teaches you everything. Check out the playlist. I try to organize it. There's a lot. Also, my free foundations course. Thanks, George. I think someone posted my free foundations course. George just posted everything. I have paid courses, but those are I've got a lot of free resources. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, except for in April, we'll be doing it at 3. I'm on Clubhouse. It's the only time I'm on Clubhouse. But tomorrow we are talking about your tone and personality in a chatbot. So if you found that part of our discussion helpful, that'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Again, Stellar 24/7. And then my Facebook group is a great place to ask questions, and that's Baby Got Bot on Facebook.
Amen to that. I'm sure Angela is saying amen in the comments too, because we both Angela's told me so many times, like, this group is awesome. I was like, and then George.
I love a paid mentorship if you really want to level up. That's even better.
Awesome.
Hey, and Kelly, one last thing then. So you mentioned maybe April, you got some things going. So if people enjoyed listening to you today and they want to hear you some more, what's in April?
Yeah, so this is kind of interesting, because we've been talking bots the whole time, but I actually have been a digital marketer for 14 years, and my passion is video. I love video. I have over 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. I go live a lot. So my girl Evie Hyman and I are co-hosting what's called the Content Marketing PowerUp. It is to complement Veda, which is video every day in April, but you don't have to do a video every day in April. It is designed to either complement or stand alone. Every single week in April, we are going to have every day, Monday through Friday, and then bonus stuff on the weekends. We will have a training. Week 1 is all about live video. Week 2 is all about recorded video and YouTube. Week 3 is repurposing your content and marketing. And week 4 is bringing it all together so that you have a streamlined process and you don't go crazy. We are sponsored by a lot of amazing people. We have tons of great prizes, and we've already started taking those signups. If you are interested, just go to thecontentmarketingpowerup.com and sign up. It's free. It's totally free, which is kind of crazy.
That is bananas. I could use that comment that was above. That's bananas. As right here. George has got
bananas. I know I didn't wear my banana shirt today.
And it's not a boring video too, because you bring in a lot of the fun, and just, I'm sure people could tell your energy from here.
Yes. So we're excited to level up we're going to get the glow up. Everyone wants to get the glow up. So whether you're looking for Facebook Live, YouTube Live, recorded, editing, repurposing, we're going to give you all the tools you need to glow up.
So important today for brands, and great content that you can use and learn then how to tie back into your chatbot as well. So hopefully all of you found this valuable. Thank you so much, Kelly, for sharing your wisdom with us this week. I could, again, listen to you forever because you're just full of so much wisdom. But I thank all of you for tuning in. Again, if you want the show notes, type recap in the comments below. We'll make sure you get all the notes and all the links to things that Kelly's mentioned here, so you can continue diving in to those trainings, both in chatbots and in video now. So super pumped for that. And we want to invite you back to next week, Training Tuesday Live Magnet Marketers, right here Tuesday at 4 p.m. Until then, hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Bye, everyone.
Keep it simple, folks.
Yeah.